I want to welcome you all to this very exciting World Kamishibai Forum workshop on puppetry and Kamishibai. I know there's a lot of interest in this topic, so I am going to turn it over to our presenters very quickly. But I just want to remind everybody to stay on mute during the presentations. Jelena and Laura have very different approaches, so we've decided to give each of them a half hour, and then we'll have 15 minutes for Q&A in between so that they can address your questions, not all at the same time like we've done with other workshops. I'm still letting people in. Okay, and I wanted to remind everybody that Jelena Sitar Cvetco and her husband Igor, who are known in Slovenia as the mother and father of Kamishibai, actually did 3 of our workshops last year. So I wanted to, if I can, now put the links in the chat to those videos in our archive, and also the link to the World Kamishibai archive, so that you can watch them later in more detail. What she'll share today is her approach to puppetry and Kamishibai, and she won't be doing as much performing. So just very briefly, I'm going to share screen and show you a little snippet of her performance from last year, which is one of the reasons we invited her back. This is a very interesting approach to combining puppetry and Kamishibai. So I hope you can all see my screen. And I will just play a minute or so.
Sreča se dva veliča, da vidim gansko smatimi in sta začela z njo plesati. Dušica Boga dušica je lepo prosila, jaz grem na žegna britav, mojega telesa iska. In ko je na britav.
So I'll stop there just to give you a sense of both the performance style and the way she uses these 3-dimensional objects and makes them work in the Kamishibai stage. So without further ado, I'm going to spotlight Jelena Sitar from Slovenia, and she can share how she approaches puppetry and Kamishibai. Let me find the spotlight for you, Jelena.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you all for coming to that session. Igor and me, we have a puppet theater named The Pig, and in this theater we are working for 40 years already. So we are really familiar with puppetry and we love it. I'm as director, I directed about 60 performances in professional puppet theaters around Slovenia, Yugoslavia, ex-Yugoslavia, and Europe. And we did, in fact, a little atelier, Igor and me, where we wanted to discover things we couldn't sell in the theaters because they were not so interesting for them. In commercial commercial point of view. So I will show you some pictures from our performances, and I will show you that we use the stage very similar to Kamishibai. It was a performance we did in 90s when we didn't hear anything, heard about Kamishibai, but the stage was like this. Can you imagine? Exactly the same measure. And there were puppets in it. So you see there were marionettes on wire, and we had very, very simple performance one Slovenian ethnological theme. So it was like this. And we had the music from the same region, original one, and in one moment the puppet come out also from the stage. So that was something what we really said, oh, what's happening when we saw Kamishibai? Because we said we did something very similar many years ago in 90s. So it was interesting why we did such a simple performance, because after the performance we had a workshop, and in that workshop there were puppets, there were the little stages made from just one piece of paper, and we really wanted children that they have something similar as they saw, not to make a big Hollywood and they have a piece of paper, but we all have the same, in fact, same chances to work and to imagine. So here children are making puppets, yeah, with little stages. Wow. This is not very clear. Okay. So that was the reason that we developed that stage which you saw. Why? In fact, we found out that we do a lot of puppetry in the very similar stages as Kamishibai is. Why? Because our theater, the Big Theater, was minimalist interactive chamber puppet theater. And many times children went out, came to the stage, and they were playing with us. And of course, on one moment, we said, where is the space for fairy tale? Where is the space for fantasy? Where is the space for miracle? And so we had to put out from our common place a special place which there was possible to make another world. So that is another performance. The same stage, very close, very similar to the first one. You see it? Yeah. Here we also have the stage similar to Kamishibai, with also with the doors and so on. So, and we develop, of course, all the performance over the space. So we have performances for very little children, and it's about finger games of Slovenia. We deal with the national heritage, so it was very interesting. So it was table theater, as you see, and the main situation was, in fact, like this. We were young, huh? Yeah, and then I will show you the third example. Here is the performance. No, not good. This one. Okay, this is a performance where we, in fact, are drawing the main character. Just a moment. The main character during the performance. So this is the picture which is in fact being created in the time of the performance. So the children are deciding which color we have to use, who will have to be on the picture, and so on. And so we make a performance out of the paper, one piece of paper. How to do that and why? First we made the shape, then we made the color, and then we put the voice on the puppet, and then we cut it out and let it move. So we had all three, in fact, elements in which every puppet of the world is expressing itself. So one is how he looks, how it looks. The other is how he moves, and the third is what he says. It's also, if you are just breathing, it's already speech, of course, or doing or making another voice, not just speaking, of course. But it's a special word. Here we also have one. This is very little, as you see. This is a finger. So this is a finger theater. Also, we again have something similar. So all the time we are in fact dealing with the little stages, like here, for example. This is if you see the hands, it is the in fact also the measure of Kamishibai. And here once more, fourth finger. So I collect just some pieces of our work where we in fact in already are having elements of Kamishibai, and of course we really were very minimalistic, interactive, and chamber. So our normal logical step forward was discovering Kamishibai and working there. But what happens? It's not so simple as we think. So we were trying to find out what Kamishibai in fact is. And in history, in Tara's book, we found that in fact how Kamishibai as a form how it became one new form of theater. What happened then? And of course, it happened that in the time when the movie was very popular, film was popular, the puppeteers from the Japanese streets just put a piece of paper instead of film screen in their stages. So they said, "Oh, why should we have all this difficult work if people are enjoying film?" So they made a film, in fact, not digital, how it's film, yeah. Yeah, a very simple way of film, of course. And when we started to deal with Kamishibai as puppeteers, of course, first we got some limitations, of course. First limitation was that, in fact, the stage, which was three-dimensional, became two-dimensional. So we lost one dimension. We lost one element. Then we found out that, of course, we had heroes, we had puppets, and so on. So now we have to deal just with the picture. And of course, we said, oh, we are enjoying as puppeteer when something not alive, when still material becomes a personage, becomes alive. And we have to now to give up that. And we said, okay, what we get if we give up all these things? And of course, we said, okay, as a puppeteers, we are used to make reductions. That's very clear, because the puppet is representing, is a still material, is object or artifact or material, doesn't matter, who represent a personage. Is it an animal, or is a human being, or it's a supernatural being? I don't know what, but there is dramatis persona. So he's alive. And of course, it's not be the puppet can, as a representative of this, cannot have all the quality of that one who he is representing, or the puppet is representing. So it has to make reduction. And the puppet, in fact, is a symbol of it. So we really have, you really have to limit yourself. And of course, you have to think, and puppeteers, as you know, we always think what we won't do, not what we do. How to channel life into the crucial moments, the crucial elements, and so on. So it was really already on the way to Kamishibai, because that minimalism of Kamishibai is also something we have to deal with. And of course, what we get in return if we make such a sacrifice. And of course, we get a lot, because we can go to the worlds a human being cannot go. of course, with this extension with the puppet on our hand leads us to the words of fairies, leads us to the lands of dead people, to the mythos, to wherever. So we can travel with our puppet. We can even fly, even if the people don't fly. But the crucial thing is that puppet never dies because it's not born. So we make a fair trade. Some minutes of our mortal life, but the puppet will act in this time for some moments of immortality of the puppet. And so this is really nice trade. And what we get, in fact, what we gain if we even go further, if we just act in that limited space of Kamishibai, what we get then? So we cannot animate personage anymore. We cannot make a dramatis persona. We lose that, but we animate all the story, and we animate all the stage, and the stage is the word, and we animate all the word, all the little word we made in this moment, and this is really a lot. So if we say people, puppeteers instead of actor, instead of puppets who are actors, in fact, animate the stories, everything what is there, everything on as Noriko writes in her white book, the story, the word of the story, which is inside in the butai. What are very important techniques we use? One thing is of course the word. Here we are in the world of storytelling. We know that is the oldest technology of transfer the knowledge and the values and everything. When we couldn't write yet, we were telling stories, of course. Our culture is basic on oral tradition. And the other side is the picture, which is so strong. We see now we are in the image time. We don't have time for words anymore. We want to have the information which is now, and it is the picture. So we really have very, very good, how to say, weapon for doing our art. And of course, here we also have to know in the puppet theater we have we have the dramatic situation, dramatic form. It is drama, but the Kamishibai is epic form. Of course, also in drama we have epic elements. Also in epic form we have dramatic elements. Of course, we say there is no good story if it doesn't have but. Yeah, she's in love, he's in love, but she's married. There the story starts. So this is the thing which is important also for us. So, but what happens? If I'm a puppeteer, I take care for my puppet, for my personage. I look to the words, to the piece of the I play from my point of view, from the point of view of the character. For example, if the actor acts Hamlet, he has to look to Claudio, to Ophelia, to Gertruda as Hamlet. But Shakespeare didn't look that. Shakespeare had to take care for everybody. So if you do the performance as Kamishibai, you take care for everybody, and you take care for all the consequences, and you take responsibility of everything. And in the end, the word you present is your word, of course. That's why it's so personal. Why Kamishibai is so honest and such a personal art. And we see that when the audience accepts this serenity of us, if it happens, of course. It doesn't happen in puppetry many times. They come, your performance was nice, but when we play Kamishibai, when we make Kamishibai performance, people come and say, what do you think? I think this happened like this, or my experience is another one, and so on. They want to talk about the subject. That means it's another way of communication. So the story of Kamishibai, in fact, what happens when we say we will do two-dimensional world, because Kamishibai, it is two-dimensional. But what's happening, in fact, when we remove one picture, and then we remove another one, and then we remove another one. These are layers of the story, and we are approaching to the end of that story, and the end is the sense. And we really want to go deeper and deeper and deeper in the story. So we have depth. We have the third dimension in another way, of course, maybe symbolic, but there is the third dimension. And that's why I'm so sad when people say, okay, we will combine the Kamishibai and the puppetry, and they use the Kamishibai stage, the butai, as a scenography, and then they put in front of the puppet. Because it's impossible to go further and further and deeper because you stop that development. That's the problem. So when we make this combination, we really have to be careful. We really have to be careful that we go on with the speech we started, with the code we started. Puppet theater, in fact, is let's say, is a hybrid form. Almost all the theater forms are hybrid forms. It means opera, for example, ballet, drama, and so on. They unite a lot of artistic branches, of course. And but we still know, are we going to see the ballet, or are we going to listen opera, go to opera, or we are going to go to mime or puppet show? So we have to know which code, which speech, what we are, in fact, when we start to do our piece of art. We can have guests, we can have others, of course, it's a time of fusion. It's good if we combine, but we speak one language. Every art has its own language. And we really want to discover the Kamishibai language. We know quite a lot about puppetry, but we really, last 10 years, we were discovering Kamishibai language. What's happening there? There are different things. And of course, it's nice when the combination's here. But of course, you have to be careful how to do it, because your identity is crucial. If I speak English here, my English is not good, but if I speak English with you, you will understand me because I speak English. I cannot speak in the same time other languages because you won't understand me. So I have to decide which language is my language, and then I can add other things. Of course, you know that Tolstoy wrote the War and the Peace, the big romance, where the first book is maybe 1/4 made not in Russian but in French, but it's still Russian literature. You understand me, I hope. Yeah. So when we do the fusions, we have to know that we have to be respectful, and that we know what we are connecting to. And of course, that we have to respect that minimalism of Kamishibai, and also puppetry of Kamishibai, because if on the beginning of the story, puppet stage was covered with the screen for movie, and then a new art was born. So we have to know what, in fact, is our art at the end. So if we put puppets again on that, we have really be careful. I have performance where many moments where puppets and Kamishibai I combine, because I cannot do other way. I'm puppeteer basically. Yeah, and I really love puppets. So yeah. Which principles I use? For example, in Kamishibai, which come from the puppet world. I think the puppet world is not just a puppet. A puppet world is puppet thinking. There are puppet procedures. There are puppet principles. There are puppet elements. It's not just making this. So we use the things, animation and so on, and what I use from puppetry in Kamishibai. The principle of frozen scenes. That's really stop motion. You all know that that Kamishibai is a sort of stop motion, another way of this expression. And of course, this is one thing. And animation, of course, animated film is here, and puppetry. And when you stop a situation, you have another piece of paper to continue. So you can do also the movement, not just on one picture. You make a movement on more pictures. And if you saw that terrible at the beginning presentation without voice, with bad voice, but in fact it was, you found out that it's a long way which takes 3 papers, 3 cards, because it was such a long way. So why? We know that we have that all that time. And materials and objects have their own expressive power. That's so important for me. So you saw it before. I combined the terracotta, how it's called. The thick material, and of course the soft one, and that combination, every material talks for itself. So it's not it's very important what you put in the stage, what kind of material you use. And the other thing is the position. The position of the figure is not just the position of its physical appearance. It also means the position of its emotional moments. So that's important for us because puppeteers don't use the mimics usually. So we have to use other experience, how do we show, and of course body language of the puppet is usually the one we use, and I use it very often in the puppet, in the Kamishibai. So I have some Kamishibai. Do I have time more to show? Okay. I have here one you maybe saw already. It is the colorful bird, and here I have a nest which is empty, and then a bird comes to the nest. I put it here. So as a puppeteer, I could make a big flight of that puppet. Could make a big drama, but I really want just to finish the picture. And then, of course, she laid the eggs. The yellow eggs as the sun, yellow as the sun. And that's not all. It laid the blue egg, blue as the sea. And it was not the end. He laid, in fact, the green egg, green as the grass. And that's not all. It laid the red egg, red as a strawberry. And that's end, says the bird. Oh no, said the last egg, which is colorful and is put to the nest. So this is one element of one story where I use puppetry, but I don't do this. I don't do this. The puppet is coming and it's going around and so on. I just put it because I make kamishibai. And then I have the last picture. The story goes on and so on, and the birds become big, adult, so they leave the nest. Here I had doubts when I went maybe too far or not, but I concluded this. The yellow, sorry, the yellow bird to the yellow land. The blue bird to the blue land. The green bird to the green land. And the red bird to the red land. And of course, there's no space for the last one, for the colorful bird. So the colorful bird stays here, where we have all the colors. I have to find it now because I made a big mess here. So all the lands were used already, and this one stays for us. So if we say, if Noriko Matsui writes in her book that we have the word, here is the word of the story, and here is the real word. In fact, and of course, it's forbidden in Kamishibai, as you know, to remove the last card. And I do it because the game was not okay, because there was no space for the last one. So I said I put the real word into the word of the Kamishibai, of the story, and said, let's have the bird here with us. So in fact, these are the elements of puppetry. Of course they are, but I don't make a puppet animation in the sense of puppet show. I really want to stay with Kamishibai and use the elements of puppetry in Kamishibai. And of course, I use also in the puppet performances the elements of Kamishibai, but I know that I do the puppet performance. So it's necessary for me to know what I'm doing. It's of course my approach. It's not necessary that everybody agrees with that. And here are some more elements. So now I had, we found out that there is some movement, which we can provide also in Kamishibai. And now we go on. Here we have collage. And here we have different materials. It's about Gardina. That's our folk story. And this Gardina, in fact, it's collage of different pieces of textile, of fabric, and the stones, the real stones. And this combination, in fact, it is as I say, the material is talking for itself. It's very crucial in the story that this is not possible to remove, and that's why it has to be strong. And here we have also the movement. You see this maybe now. Here is inside now. She's inside. She can't go out. And then the man who will solve her comes, brings her out, pulls her out, and then she says, "I will eat you." So then we come very close because she is whispering, "Now I will eat you because I am hungry." Yeah. So we have, in fact, the elements of puppetry. We have the figures which are moving, which are in different position, and which we have that stop motion stop motion technique. And now I will show you some ready-made, where very important, I have the objects. I deal with objects. It's about the bird who is killed and slaughtered by shoemaker. So I went to the shoemaker shop, one old shoemaker, where the father of this shoemaker was already shoemaker, and I used all that elements that slaughtering was not so cruel. So I composed the figure that I could decompose it. So this is the bird, and this is the shoemaker, which is, you know, this for the shoes, to put these are all the elements, and it's very old. Yeah. And here we have knife, and here he wants to kill her. And here we have one detail of also from the shoe. This is the leg of the bird. And this bird becomes without everything at the end, because he used everything for the shoes, and she has less and less things on herself, and he has everything then on himself. He's very nice, isn't he? And she has nothing, but she has still her song, because a shoemaker cannot kill the song. He can kill the bird. Yeah. Okay. So we here use the ready-made, or in fact, if you are in point of object theater, we have the object theater. We have the puppetry in another sense. You have already seen this. Here is also the material, which is of course the bridge to the other world, and this bridge is a long and very sharp. So we have a new view of it, and then we have the things you saw already. So she is walking very, very long way, and because we will talk about weight, because we are weighing measuring the how the soul is good. So can it go to the heaven? So we have to start with weight here already, because we will measure that afterwards. And this is Saint Mary, who will decide what to do. And she has, as you see, 3 drops of tears. And those tears completed the weight that the soul could go to heaven. So that's why I used that clay, which is already a material, it's 3-dimensional. It has its weight, because it's important that this can have weight at the end that can be added to the soul, to the weight of the soul. So it went to the heaven. And here I have something. It is also a puppet, you would say. I did it. I don't know how you say. Crochet? No. Yeah. So it was in the time of Corona, when the things were very complicated. So I did something very complicated, the situation. And it was a question, what's true, in fact? Who is telling you the truth? And I used Daniel Harms. Maybe you know the poet Daniel Harms. He's Russian avant-garde in 20s to 40s. He's very important Russian poet. And of course, it is nonsense everywhere. So this is Fyodor Fyodorovich. He was sitting, he was standing under the tree. He put the glasses on, he looked to the tree, and what did he saw? A man who is waving him with his fist. Oh, he said, what do you think what he did after that? He put the glasses off. And he went where he looked to the tree. And what did he see? Nothing. And what he did after that. That's the children's favorite, but it's very serious. Yeah, of course, he put the glasses on and he looked to the tree. And of course, he saw the man. And what did he do afterwards? He put the glasses off and looked to the tree, and there was no one. And we are zooming, we are coming close again, and he sees the man again, and he says he didn't want to believe in that appearance, as this is Fata Morgana. So it was a question of our and here we have someone from another story of him, of Daniel Harms. I have here just moving of someone who doesn't want to go, who wants to live in. So how to do the movement into let's say into pictures. And for the end, I have a children's song. If I still have time, if I don't, I won't have it.
So I think we actually went a little over time into the question and answer time, but I don't see any questions in the chat yet. But you've given us a very rich introduction to your way of approaching Kamishibai and puppetry. So I think
I have here a puppet show. In fact, half puppet show and half. Maybe this is the most puppetry. I just have to remove this one. One little elephant. And Marley Slonchak, one little elephant. He was waving, he was swinging on the string of the spider under a big tree. And he found out, ko je video da je zanimivo, he called another one. Sorry. And there were two. And they were, swinging together. And they found out it's very interesting. And they called the third one. And they had fun and they were swinging. So this is five, they go to 5. But it is, in fact, Slovenian song, very popular in kindergarten. So it is always for the end of the show, because we are singing together that. So it is animation. It is already this is half and half, I would say, most close to the puppetry, as the thing we puppetry understand the first step. But I think puppetry is a lot more than just a figure. So that was my participation.
Thank you so much. We don't have questions in the chat, but I think many people will want to ask questions later, and you can keep adding them to the chat as we move forward. But I did want to say that I think people are also going to be interested in your stage where you pull cards out of both directions, because that is different from the traditional Japanese stage.
Yeah. Lydia, I don't have the favorite puppet. I admire hand puppets, of course, because they are really good ones. But in fact, depends. All of them are the best, because otherwise they would not survive the history.
Jelena, I decided that you have a preference to use marionette puppets, because you told that you have a stage and we can move stage, and we must, I think maybe marionettes will be better to use tabletop puppets. How do you think?
No, not really. Marionette is one of my favorite. In fact, my favorite, the performances I do is the table theater. I do the performances on the table because I can communicate and play with children together. And if I went behind the stage, I couldn't have that. I couldn't enjoy that. Yeah. And someone had a question. What is chamber theater? Chamber theater is little form of theater. It's not in the room in chamber, but it is a little form for like chamber music. Chamber music is not for a big for big orchestra. It is for like Kamishibai.
Okay, we're going to have to move on. I know there are going to be more questions, and we hopefully will have time to return to them. I can answer Francesco's question quickly, that you do take photographs of three-dimensional objects to fit them in. So it's photography. I want to introduce our next presenter, who has another very different take on how to combine Kamishibai and puppetry. Laura Gutman is a wonderful professional puppeteer from Buenos Aires, Argentina. So I'm going to turn it over to her and to Eteri Trevino, who will be her interpreter. Let me just spotlight you, Laura.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Voy a hablar en español y le voy a pedir a Eteri que me traduzca al inglés para poder expresar bien a fondo mis ideas. Eteri.
Sí, de acuerdo. So she will speak in Spanish and I will be her translator during her speech so she can express profusely what she wants to say.
Para este encuentro voy a presentar un video de una función en vivo de Kamishibai para la Feria del Libro Infantil y Juvenil de Buenos Aires, donde Barcelona fue ciudad invitada.
So for this presentation, she will put a video where she has she tells a story there, different stories, and the video was recorded in the book fair, the children and book fair in Buenos Aires, and Barcelona was the invited city for that book fair. Adelante.
Ok. Para presentarme también yo, quisiera contarles que tengo una formación como titiritera profesional en un teatro de la ciudad de Buenos Aires, el Teatro San Martín. Que tiene
so she wants to introduce herself first. So she is a professional puppeteer and she usually performs in a theater in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Tiene una escuela de titiriteros, el teatro.
So that theater also has a puppeteer school.
Y también tengo formación como regisseur en puesta en escena de ópera en el Teatro Colón.
So she is also a doctor in the theater Colón Theater.
Así que cuando encontré el Kamishibai, encontré una forma de combinar todas mis habilidades.
When she found Kamishibai, she found a way, a method to combine all her abilities together.
En relación a la exposición de Jelena, que en muchas cosas, casi todas las cosas, estoy muy de acuerdo con ella. Quisiera agregar.
With relation to Jelena's presentation and the accord with a lot of points of view.
Estoy muy de acuerdo con ella en muchas cosas como intérprete, como intérprete titiritera. ¿sí?
So as an puppeteer interpreter, I agree with a lot of the stuff she talked before.
Solo quisiera decir que a pesar de que trabajo como titiritera el Kamishibai,
So I just want to say that even though I work with Kamishibai as a puppeteer person there,
no uso el Kamishibai como un escenario,
I don't
sino,
use the Kamishibai as a stage person,
sino que trato de que la historia, toda la historia que estoy contando esté viva.
but instead I try that all the story I'm telling is alive.
Y esto es lo que el Kamishibai me permite.
And that's what Kamishibai method helps me to do.
Ok. Para este trabajo que vamos a ver, nosotros quisimos trabajar la poesía de Federico García Lorca.
So for the work you will see in the video, we want to introduce the García Lorca works.
Él no solo fue un poeta, fue también músico.
He wasn't only a poet, he was also a musician, and
y también dibujó muchas ilustraciones para sus poemas. Fue un gran ilustrador.
he was also a great illustrator for his own poems.
Tuvo su propia estética.
He has his own aesthetic.
Y según algunos investigadores a los que yo con los que estoy de acuerdo, creo que si hubiera podido vivir un poco más, porque murió muy joven en la Guerra Civil Española.
So according to a lot of researchers, if he could have lived more than what he did, because he died during the Civil War,
hubiera llegado a integrarse al movimiento del surrealismo.
He could have been integrated to the surrealism movement.
De hecho, llegó a hacerlo con sus últimas obras, El Público, que es una performance, una obra de teatro. Y
his last works have relation with the surrealism too.
Y Un poeta en Nueva York. Bueno, pero en este trabajo quisimos acercar la poesía, la música y la estética de Lorca.
So we mix in this work, in the presentation of the video, the poetry, the music, and the aesthetic of Lorca.
Con el formato del Kamishibai, acercarlo al público infantil, porque
with the Kamishibai format to make it closer to kids.
Porque la infancia como tema ocupó un lugar importante en la obra de Federico García Lorca.
Because children's topic itself was a really big topic, in Lorca's work.
Entonces pensamos en qué idea central concentrarnos.
Therefore, we start to think about in which idea we should center our presentation.
Y nos concentramos en la idea de el color.
We focus on the idea of color.
La idea de los colores, la presencia de los colores en la obra de Federico García Lorca.
The presence of colors itself in García Lorca's work.
¿Cómo aparece la idea del color en la obra de Federico García Lorca.
So how this color idea itself comes alive in García Lorca's work?
Con imágenes,
With images, illustrations,
con el lenguaje con el juego del lenguaje, con el
With-
juego de las palabras,
the game of words, the language,
con la metáfora
with the metaphor,
y con el ritmo del poema.
and with
Como-
the poem's rhythm.
Como decimos, cabalgando el poema, cabalgando el poema. Se puede
Like,
traducir.
We say, yeah, like we say, writing the poem.
Ok, entonces hicimos un collage con poemas, canciones y 2 textos dramáticos.
So we made a kind of collage with poems, songs, and some dramatic tests.
En el video que vamos a ver, los poemas están traducidos al inglés.
In the video I'm going to present to you, the poems are translated to English.
Las canciones de las canciones solo está el título.
In the songs, there is only the title.
Y para los textos dramáticos hicimos un resumen de la escena.
For the dramatic stories, for the dramatic stories, we made a summary of the scenes we present.
La primera de las escenas dramáticas, que está en el medio,
The first one of those is at the middle of the video.
es teatro en verso.
So half of the video you will see a verse theater,
Como el teatro clásico.
like the classical kind of.
Es Doña Rosita la soltera o el lenguaje de las flores.
So it is called Doña Rosita la Soltera, or the language of flowers.
Y la última escena que cierra el Kamishibai pertenece a la obra La Zapatera Prodigiosa.
And the last one is it's another story that
No,
is
es una-
called
es
Prodigious Shoemaker.
Yes, es una obra de teatro de Terino.
Sorry, it's not a story, it's a theater,
Es una escena de teatro
dramatic scene.
que luego se convirtió en una ópera a
That
la
later
cual,
became an opera one.
a la cual Manuel de Falla la musicalizó.
And afterwards, someone called Emmanuel de Saya put music to it.
En esa obra, él ya utiliza algunos elementos surrealistas.
In that work, they used some surrealistic scenarios, elements.
Ok, espero que lo disfruten.
So I hope you enjoy it.
Y voy a presentar el video, ok.
And I will share with you the video now.
los sollozos de las almas perdidas se escapan por su boca redonda y como la araña teje una gran tela para atrapar sus tiros que flotan en su negro aljibe de madera. La luna es un pozo chico, las flores no valen nada, lo que valen son tus brazos cuando de noche me abrazan, lo que valen son tus brazos cuando de noche me abrazan. Tengo los ojos azules, tengo los ojos azules y el corazoncito igual que la cresta de la nube. De noche me salgo al patio y me canso de llorar, de ver que te quiero tanto y tú no me quieres nada. La luna es un pozo chico. La luna va por el agua. ¿Cómo está el cielo tranquilo? Va cegando lentamente el temblor viejo del río, mientras que una rana joven la toma por espejito. La luna va por el agua. ¿Cómo está el cielo tranquilo? Va cegando lentamente el temblor viejo del río. Mientras que una rana joven, que soy yo, la toma por espejito. Debajo de la hoja de la verbena, debajo de la hoja, debajo de la hoja, debajo de la hoja, debajo de la hoja de la verbena, tengo mi amante enfermo, Jesús, qué pena. Debajo de la hoja, debajo de la hoja, debajo de la hoja, debajo de la hoja de la verbena, debajo de la hoja del perejil, debajo de la hoja, debajo de la hoja. Tengo mi amante enfermo y no puedo ir. Tengo los ojos puestos en un muchacho. Delgado de cintura, moreno y alto. A la flor, a la pitiflor, a la verde oliva, a los rayos del sol, se peina la la niña. A la flor,
A la flor,
a la pitiflor,
a la pitiflor,
a la verde oliva,
a la verde oliva,
a los rayos del sol.
rayos del sol.
Se peina la niña.
Se peina la niña.
¿Lo hacemos todos? A la flor, a la pitiflor, a la verde oliva, a los rayos del sol. Se peina la niña. Muy bien, más rápido. A la flor, a la pitiflor, a la verde oliva, a los rayos del sol. Se peina la niña. Muy bien. Muy bien.
De los cuatro muleros, de los cuatro
En la mañana verde quería ser corazón, corazón. En la tarde tranquila quería ser mi voz, ruiseñor. Alma, ponte color naranja. Alma, ponte color de amor.
de la mula,
En la mañana verde quería ser mi voz, corazón. Y en la tarde madura quería ser yo, ruiseñor. Alma, ponte color naranja. Alma, ponte color de amor. De los cuatro muleros, de los cuatro muleros,
de los cuatro muleros,
mamita mía, que van al río, que van al río. El de la mula pinta, el de la mula pinta,
el de la mula pinta, mamita mía,
es mi marido, es mi marido. Naranja y limón. Ay, 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 de la niña del mar de amor. Limón y naranja. Ay, de la niña blanca. Limón, cómo brillaba el sol. Naranja, en las piedritas del agua.
verde, que te quiero verde, verde viento, verdes ramas, el barco sobre la mar y el caballo en la montaña. Con la sombra en la cintura, ella sueña en su baranda, barandales de la luna, por donde retumba el agua. Verde, que te quiero verde, verde viento, verdes ramas. El barco sobre la mar y el caballo
Rosita. Doña Rosita. Doña Rosita, vamos. Cuando se abre en la mañana, roja como sangre está. El rocío no la toca porque se teme quemar. Abierta en el mediodía, es dura como el coral. Y el sol se asoma a los vidrios para verla deslumbrar. Cuando en las ramas empiezan los pájaros a cantar y se derrama la tarde en la violeta del mar, se pone blanca con el blanco de una mejilla de sal. Y cuando toca la noche, blando cuerno de metal, y las estrellas avanzan cuando los aires se van en la raya del oscuro, se comienza a deshojar. Madre, yo voy a los campos con la luz de la mañana a ver abrirse las flores cuando se mecen las ramas. 1000 flores dicen 1000 cosas para mí enamoradas. Y la fuente está cantando lo que el ruiseñor se calla. La señora zapatera, al marcharse su marido, ha montado una taberna donde acude el señorío. ¡Ajá! Pero qué bonito que ha quedado todo. ¿No es cierto? Díganme, ¿no ha quedado todo muy, muy bonito? ¿Qué opinan? Sí, me ha dado mucho trabajo. Eso sí, necesito descansar un poco hasta que llegue algún cliente. Es una zapatera, es un zapatero. A mí me pareció escuchar la puerta. Ah, sí, zapaterita. Soy yo el niño. Hola. Hola, es el niño, qué bonito, qué preciosura. Ay, gracias, zapatera, no estás enojada. ¿Y por qué voy a estar enojada? Porque eres precioso. ¿Y por qué eres tan precioso? ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo es eso que nadie me quiere dar esa noticia? ¿Y qué noticia es? No. ¿Y qué? ¿De tú? ¿Sí? No. Y que vaya el niño, dijeron entonces, porque es un notición que nadie te quiere dar. ¿Ah, no? ¿Y por qué? Bueno, no te asustes, no se asusten, que de miedo no es. ¿Ah, no? ¿Y no es de miedo? A vos y a vos y a vos y a vos y a todos, que no se asusten. No se asusten, que de miedo no es. Pero mira, zapaterita, yo te lo voy a decir despacito o rapidito. ¡Oh! ¡Una mariposa! ¡Ay! ¡Qué bonita! ¡A mí! ¡Qué bonita! ¡A mí! Mariposa del aire, qué hermosa eres. Mariposa del aire, dorada y verde, luz de candil. Mariposa del aire, quédate ahí, ay, no te quieres parar, pararte no quieres. Mariposa del aire, dorada y verde, luz de candil. Mariposa del aire, ay, quédate ahí. Mariposa, ¿estás ahí? Pero se escapó, se fue, se asustó, se escapó. Siéntense. Se escapó, siéntense. Ay, zapaterita, ¿qué podemos hacer? Ahora vas a ver. Si tu madre quiere un rey, la baraja tiene 4: rey de oros, rey de copas, rey de espadas, rey de bastos. Corre que te corro, mira que te agarro, corre que te lleno la cara de barro. Corre que te corro, mira que te agarro, corre que te lleno la cara de barro. Del olivo me retiro, del espanto yo me aparto, del sarmiento me arrepiento de haberte querido tanto. Corre que te corro, mira que te agarro, corre que te lleno la cara de barro. Corre que te corro, mira que te agarro, corre que te lleno la cara de barro. Qué bueno que ha sido esto, ¿no es cierto? Sí, zapatera. Bueno, entonces ahora venga la noticia ya mismo, porque no aguanto más de esperar esa noticia. Bueno, que nadie hace silencio, yo no te lo quiero decir. Yo necesito que hagan silencio para decirte la noticia, la zapatera, que yo, mira, te lo voy a decir rápido, rapidito, y sin respirar, así me voy volando y no te vas a hacer nada conmigo ni con ninguno de más. Bueno, dicen las vecinas. ¿Qué dicen las vecinas? A ver, dicen las vecinas que tu marido se fue y dicen las vecinas que no va a comer más y yo me voy volando porque si no te vas a enojar. ¿Qué? ¿Cómo es eso? ¿Qué han dicho las vecinas? ¿Que mi marido se fue? Si yo lo quiero tanto a mi marido. No se imaginan cuánto lo quiero. Bueno, voy a ver a esas vecinas a ver qué le habrán contado a mi marido esas vecinas. A ver, vecina amarilla, un refresco. Vecina roja, un refresquito. Vecina verde, para la sangre. Vecina negra, de limón. Vecina morada, salsa parrilla. Vecina roja, la menta es mejor. Vecina morada, vecina. Vecina verde, vecinita. Vecina negra, zapatera. Vecina roja, zapaterita, zapaterita. Vamos, vamos. ¿Dónde estás? ¿A dónde estás? Aquí estoy. Llevo mi tarara un vestido verde lleno de volantes y de cascabeles. La tarara sí, la tarara no, la
tarara, niña que la he visto yo. No sé imitar a chocolate y seda sobre la retaja y la hierba nueva. La tarara, sí, la tarara, no, la tarara, niña que la he visto yo. Ay, tarara, loca, mueve la cintura para los muchachos de las aceitunas. La tarara, sí, la tarara, no, la tarara, niña que la he visto yo. ¡Bravo! La señora zapatera, al marcharse su marido, ha montado una taberna de la del señorío.
Zapatera. ¿Está bien la zapatera? No, no soy el abuelo, soy el marido de la zapatera. ¡Qué volvió! ¿Sí la viste? ¿La viste? ¿Y dónde se fue? ¡Se fue! ¡Oh, se fue! Yo que la quiero tanto. Me arrepentí de haberme ido porque la quiero. Aunque no cocina tan bien, pero la quiero. Aunque no cose tan bien, pero la quiero. Yo la quiero. Zapatera. Zapaterita. Ha vuelto tu marido. Oh. Zapatera. Zapaterita. Ajá. Hoy sí que te has lucido. Ay. Sí. Muchas gracias.
Sí, no, ya está, porque terminó.
Créditos.
Ah, los créditos faltaban. Uy.
Thank you, Laura. That was wonderful. So I think all of you can appreciate what very different approaches these artists are taking to combining puppetry and Kamishibai. We went a little over time, but I hope many of you can stay for a few more minutes for questions. Let me see what's in the chat. We have wonderful, thank you, wonderful, great entertainment. So yeah, continue to put your responses in the chat. We will share it with the presenters later. And I just wanted to say a few things that struck me while people are thinking about their questions. I think Jelena was really talking about the discipline of Kamishibai and learning the discipline of how to use the techniques in Kamishibai before combining two different art forms or three or four, however many you're going to make into a hybrid production. And I thought it was interesting that both of you have different openings in the stage, which I'm sure people will learn a lot from as well. So yeah, we're getting many, many positive responses, as you can see. And if people have questions, put them in the chat for us to ask. You can also contact us later if you think of something, and we can share it with the presenters. The other thing I noticed is in Japanese Kamishibai, there's something called shikake, or movable cards. And I think that's something that Jelena also is drawing on by, with the eggs and pulling the card out, the tab out. And Laura did wonderful things with the clear, are those cards clear plastic, or do you just have part of them illustrated that you put in front. So you have different levels of the scene. Maybe, Eteri, could you ask Laura for me?
Yes,
Oh.
was your question? I was writing the chat. Sorry.
Actually, Ramya has the same question. How did
Yes.
Laura create the frame in the first card?
Ok. Sí, Laura, preguntan cómo hiciste la escenografía en la primera tarjeta lámina.
Bueno, voy a presentar, ¿querés decirlo?
Sí.
Bueno, los diseños y la realización es de mi compañero en este trabajo y mi compañero de vida, que es Simón Weintraub, que está acá al lado mío. Quiero que saludes a la audiencia.
So the designs were made by her companion, es tu esposo, ¿verdad? Este es Simón. So, es tu esposo, ¿verdad, Laura?
Sí, es mi esposo.
It's her husband. So he helps her to make the scenarios for the.
El trabajo es, lo que pensamos es que siempre de fondo está el color puro, la mancha. Siempre de fondo está la mancha de color. Y sobre la mancha de color, en forma de calado, se van, van pasando los dibujos con la estética de Lorca.
So we always have a color background, and in front of it, they put kind of another shape image that they design with the Lorca's work idea on it.
Es importante siempre que de fondo está la mancha, queda la mancha de color. Sí, está el amarillo, el verde, el azul y el rojo.
So it's really important that it's there's always a background on it, and the colors we use like yellow, red, orange. Mm-hmm.
So we have many questions about that first frame. Is it possible for you to show it to us up close, Laura?
¿Tendrán la imagen, la primera imagen, Laura?
Sí, ahora le traigo. Sí.
Yes, so she will bring it.
Aprovecho para decir que en la audiencia está Diana Taylor, que es la guitarrista y mi compañera intérprete en el trabajo.
So she wants to say that in the audience right now is her partner, the one that plays the guitar, and is her works partner.
Hello, I'm Diana. Thanks for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here, but my English is very poor, so sorry.
Here is the blue. And here is the blue.
Se sube y la otra es.
What is the material? Is it made with paper or cardboard?
¿Cuál es el material que utilizaron? ¿Está hecho de papel o cartón?
Cartón.
Cardboard.
Cardboard. So the spider web is also made of cardboard?
¿La telaraña también es de cartón?
Sí. Está
Yes,
calado.
it is.
Calado.
They cut it out.
Okay, they also wanted to see the stage, and it looked like you have an opening at the top. Is it possible for you to show?
Preguntan, ¿sí?
Podemos ver el Kamishibai que está abierto por adentro. No, vení, tráelo.
Déjame que yo lo tenga.
Sí. It's opening at the top. You can see. Okay. Si lo quieren ver.
Could you show us the back of it, what it looks like in the back?
Sí. Yes. Atrás y arriba. So you can see as it's opening here
Right. Mhm.
and it's opening here.
Mhm. So you have just one side open and then open at the top?
Solo está, los dos lados están abiertos, both
Los-
sides.
The two sides open. In the top open. And also in the back open.
Wow.
So we can make also with shadows. We have sometimes made Kamishibai with shadows. And we can use this little
Mhm.
estas pequeñas varillas
So
put
we use small
inside
sticks.
to put this into para ponerlos desde arriba por dentro del kamishibai.
To put them from top to bottom to be inside the
Complete.
kamishibai.
To complete the magic.
You have elements in the pictures and the cards on in the butai that then can come out of the stage in different
Then
ways.
come out, come in. Yes. And we have many techniques, puppet techniques from behind.
So we have the question, what material is the spider? Oh, spider web. We asked that. That is made of cardboard, Ramya. And Lily asks, are they similar to stencils, but they're really cut out windows, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
It's not stencil, it's cut out.
Does anybody else have any questions? Any questions for Jelena that may have come up? I think the contrast is really interesting in your approaches. Oh, somebody says, I love the gloves. Yeah, the way you made the spider out of the gloves. Could you please show the rose
Yeah.
glove?
The rose is a glove that we made the glove from a curtain, from a curtain, a bath curtain, and we made the flower, the rose. Doña Lucita.
Great. Oh, there's a couple more questions. Jelena, does the artwork doesn't interfere with moving your cards? Oh, I think Lily, their photographs. Maybe do you have one there to show us, Jelena? How
Which one?
The ones where you have, yeah, like that. It's a card. It's not. So the question was, do the dimensions interfere with pulling the cards? But the way Jelena does it, it's a photograph. So it is a two-dimensional.
Of course. Yeah.
With dimensional look to it.
Yeah, I use that for purpose. Of course, I explained why I used three-dimensional material. But of course, you cannot put it into butai, so it's necessary to make photo. Yeah, I don't have the atelier equipment at home. In fact, when I do that, so I'm waiting for the best sun light, and it's very important because I have very strict film book how to make which picture, and then I'm very fast because you cannot believe in 10 minutes what's the difference in light is if there is nature light. So, but I really, for example, when I have that crochet, I was waiting for the light to be very low, sun to be very low, that I got that structure. Because if the light was direct, it would be just one. It wouldn't be that, that shadows. So yeah.
That was one of the questions, because you see the shadows in the three-dimensional image.
Yes, of course. I was waiting for the right moment of the day to make that photos.
That's fabulous. Yeah, I think that must be such a challenge, but like you say, it is like stopgap animation, that you take the film.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yes.
it's really adapted.
Kamishibai is very close to PowerPoint, but it's analogic, so it's very nice. And of course, it's stop motion. Also, if you just draw, is a way of stop motion thinking, of course. It's just a question how you do that.
I have a question to
It's
Jelena.
connected with film. We cannot help. It's like that.
Laura?
Yes, I have a question to Jelena.
Yeah.
Here in Argentina, it was a really break in the movement of the puppeteers. The starting of the theater of objects.
Yeah.
It was really a break at the puppeteer theater.
Yeah. It started in the 80s. It started in the 80s in Europe.
Yes.
And then it's here in different, it stayed here as one of the legitimate techniques, legitimate ways of work. And I really love it because it's when the object becomes alive, becomes a personage, that's really, you are laughing because you know the same, you have the same feeling. That's really interesting. So I really love the objects.
Yes. Fue un gran salto de pasar del títere elaborado al objeto tal cual está en la vida cotidiana, ¿sí?
So it was a great jump from the making a puppet in itself to making a puppet from an object.
Are you asking that, or
no? I am.
You think this?
In Argentina, yes, it was.
But in fact, it's everything the same. It's just a question how you do that manipulation, but the energy is the same.
Yes.
I think both of you showed that beautifully today. So thank you so much. We have gone over time. So thank you to everyone who was able to stay a few extra minutes. If you have further questions, please reach out to us. You can contact me, Walter, or Donna, and we will pass them on and share them with everybody. So thank you so much for coming. And we will have one more World Kamishibai Forum next month. So please, we will keep you posted, and that's going to be at a slightly different time. So thank you again to our wonderful presenters today, Jelena Sitar, Laura Gutman. Thank you so much.
Thank you for also all nice feedbacks. Thank you guys. And thank you, Laura, for a grand presentation, and thank you for invitation.
Thank you, Italy, too, for your interpretation. Thank you.
So hope you all again.
Yes.
Thank
you for all the audience, and Jelena, Cara, Walter, Donna, and Italy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.